Stream, don't laugh at me when I mess up. I'm going to do that a few times, okay? Got faith in y'all not to laugh at me. Looking over here at you in the chat. Even though I should look right here because this is you. But the chat's right here. Welcome to Plains Gaming. My name is Ace, and in today's video, I really want to go over something that I feel like a lot of people don't think about in the early game, and I think that it's more important than you think, and that's the importance of elemental mastery, especially on your support characters. So if you didn't know, the way that reactions work in the game, like Overload, Electrocharge, Superconduct, and Swirl, they work by you apply an element. Typically, that is with your main DPS most of the time. Then you add a secondary element to that element. So, for example, Swirl is any element added by your main DPS, then Animo added secondly, giving you swirl damage. And your reaction damage is typically based on the attack of the person applying it. But there's also another stat that goes into that, and that's elemental mastery. So a lot of times people just want to stack up attack when sometimes elemental mastery could give you a better benefit for less investment. So if you're going for an artifact set, or you happen to get an artifact like a set or a piece that you want to complete a set with elemental mastery on it, it's not necessarily a bad roll. It's actually a pretty decent roll. So, for example, we have Venti here, and I was trying to get the Viridescent set for him, and I rolled Elemental Mastery on the hat, and that'll make my fourth piece, which I don't have it right now because for purposes I want to show you with and without this Elemental Mastery piece on. But the way Elemental Mastery works is it takes the damage you're giving that the reaction damage would cause based on Swirl, and then it's going to increase that. So with the 171 Elemental Mastery, my Swirl damage is going to go up by 72.5%. So you add Fire, for example, you add Animo, that damage, you have that damage number, and then that damage number is then going to go up by 72.5% damage, which is fantastic, which is really good. And this is, with 171 Elemental Mastery. So I'll show you an example of that.
Sure, I'll play you in
So we'll just come down here to find some enemies. But the way I'm going to prove to you that the damage, the swirl damage, is related to the character casting it, is I'm going to hit an enemy, not a Rune Guard, with a level 80 Diluc and then with a level 20 Clee. They're both getting pyro damage, but my attack on each of them is drastically different. Get away from this Rune Guard because I do not want to fight the Rune Guard too. Alright, so we're going to apply Pyro to them both, and then I'm going to hit them. Then we're going to swirl that damage. So we're getting about 670 on the swirl section of it, plus the Animo damage, etc., which is really good. Now we're going to go find some more Hilly Trolls to get the same kind of numbers. And we're going to hit him with Clee first to add the Pyro status, which my Clee, if you can't tell, is quite a bit different in terms of attack than my Diluc. So we should, if it was based on the person applying the element, you would think that we'd see a drastic change in damage, but we won't. Da da da. Let me go get my. I'm going to get this charged up real quick. Come on. Alright, so we can do it with these guys. Okay. So we want to be around 670. See, we're getting the exact same numbers. 670, sometimes it crits for more. 670, 670. And we're talking like a Diluc with 2400 attack and a Clee with 300 attack. So that proves that reaction damage is caused by the person applying it. So when you're building your supports for reactions, you can't just rely on just a good artifact set and not having decent attack and elemental mastery. Attack and elemental mastery are what's going to raise that up. So now we're going to take this piece off of him, this elemental mastery piece, for we'll do, let's see here. I don't want the crit to throw us off here. So we'll just switch to this. So basically, I didn't lose much in terms of substats, like no attack values are changing. I actually gain a little bit of attack with this, but theoretically, my swirl damage should be less. Now we're hitting 670s on average, give or take crits, things like that. So let me go charge my Q back out here. Okay, that should be enough. All right, so now we're gonna go look for some more hilly trolls real quick. Okay. Okay. Now they all have fire on them. So we're gonna swirl them. And now we're only getting 460. And the only thing that changed was elemental mastery. So 143, 460 on crits. That's a substantially large. I mean, it's the number. It's 70-something% less damage with elemental mastery. So I think it's highly important to... Let me get away from these guys so we can talk a little better. I think that elemental mastery is not something that we need to sleep on, especially in the early game. A lot of people, a lot of times you think attack, attack, attack. Or it's a support character. I need to build as much attack as I can. So my abilities do more damage. When they're support and they're coming in, they're popping their E, they're popping their Q. If you're on mobile, they're popping their burst and the different abilities. If that's all they're really doing, then I think having a high elemental mastery is also very beneficial. And in some cases, it's even more beneficial than just having a high attack. So don't sleep. Don't sleep on elemental mastery. Elemental mastery increases damage tenfold sometimes. We're talking 7. We can double the damage if you can get elemental mastery to 100%. You could double the swirl damage, which is simply like if I just switch this weapon to a weapon that has elemental mastery, and I put back on that piece, our elemental mastery is now at 307, 119% more damage. That's double damage. That's over double the damage. No stat changes. Attack's the same. And I'm doing double the damage because elemental mastery is that important. So don't sleep on elemental mastery. But last thing I want to tell y'all is don't forget about our Genshin giveaway. At the end of the month, we're going to be giving away 6 Welkin Moons, 3 to subscribers on YouTube and 3 to followers on Twitch. So if you want to be entered twice for that, just subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, which is twitch.com/PlainsGaming. And we'll see you next time. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, stream.